A perfect start to the presentation session today. Hello, everyone. My name is Pranav. Welcome to the Fanshawe College's virtual open house. I work for the international office based here in New Delhi, India. I look after the South Asia market. I will be the host for today's session. Before we begin this session, I would just like to review a few housekeeping items. Sushmita, can I request you to move to the next slide, please, the housekeeping slide? Thank you. So, audience and the attendees, your webcam and mics would be turned off for the session. If you have any questions throughout the session, please submit it with the question mark feature. To open the questions feature, click on the question mark that is on your screen, or on your phone, there would be a question mark. You could do that. If you have any questions after the session, we would recommend you to email at international@fanshawe.ca or book an appointment with your recruiter in your region. Following the session, we will have a live Q&A from the questions that were submitted by all the students. We will try our level best to go through all the questions that were submitted within the session time. If you have multiple programs that are open and running, it may compromise your webinar experience. We recommend you to take a moment now and close any of the open programs before we begin today's session. I would now like to introduce Sushmita Haldar, the program coordinator for TSS2 program, Technical Systems Analysis, and Mike Clarkson, the program coordinator for Software Information System Testing program. Welcome, guys, and they will be talking about their respective programs at Fanshawe College. I will be back again for the live Q&A, and I'm going to pass it over to Sushmita now for her presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pranav. Dear students, parents, and everyone, welcome to the open house at Fanshawe College today. My name is Sushmita Haldar, and I am very delighted to share with you about our new program that we are launching from January 2021. Before I go to the next slide, I would like to share some information about me. So I have bachelor and master's in computer science from Concordia University, Montreal. Afterwards, I have gained 14 years of industry experience. And then I have also received project management professional designation. And now currently I am also pursuing PhD in software engineering. First, let's start with what are the objectives of the Technical Systems Analyst program. So a technical system analyst is actually going to be a bridge between a business and technology. So you can see here in this picture that there is people need to know about the business domain, and then people need to know about the technology domain. And a technical system analyst will actually understand that the business domain, they will gather the business requirements, and they will translate them into system design specification that can be successfully implemented by the IT teams. So they would be, because of their understanding of both of these domains, they would be the go-to person. And they, because of their expertise also, they might be the one who would be called in the executive meetings to present their solution, and also to get the feedback and present that feedback to the IT team for enhancements requests. Now, what type of background a technical system analyst will need? So the prerequisite for this program is the candidate must have a solid foundation in IT. And in order to get the admission requirements, because it is, international students, in addition to the Ontario College Diploma, definitely other diploma programs or degrees or equivalent, preferably in IT, or equivalent of related work experience and post-secondary education as judged by the college is the requirement. And also the English program requirements need to be satisfied in order to get into the program. I want to discuss about what are the expected outcome of this program. So as a business systems analyst, as a technical systems analyst, what you need to know is we want to get a very good experience in these artifacts. So you will develop critical skills in areas such as application software development, business planning, and enterprise resource planning, and you will have a very good understanding of the software development life cycle. Then the technical systems analyst will also get understanding of business data analysis and modeling. And finally, they would be having a very good understanding of how to communicate in a organization and how to engage customers, because also this is a key for being successful in the business horizon these days. So what are the technical system analyst career opportunities? You can see here that a technical systems analysis program would build the foundation for working in the positions such as, but not limited to, technical systems analyst, management information systems analyst, business intelligence analyst, IT analyst, system analyst, etc. And in the future, the career growth can be in the area of information technology manager, information technology consultant, system architect, system administrator, etc. You can see in this slide that based on a recent job search that has been done yesterday, from the popular job search engines, Monsters and Indeed.com, I have done a job search based on these keywords as technical analyst, system analyst, and technical systems analyst. And you can see that there are a huge number of hits or job openings in these areas. Where is this program going to be delivered? I'm sure that question is coming to you now. Our home location is in this 130 Dundas Street in London, Ontario, in the downtown area. And this is a picture of our downtown campus. However, due to COVID-19 situation, in January 2021, in the winter term, this program is going to be delivered fully online. The program structure of this technical systems analysis program, it is a postgraduate certification program with co-op option. And the duration of this program is 8 months, which consists of a total of 15 courses. So you can see here that we have level 1 and level 2. So this program is divided into 2 different levels. In the first level, you have about 26 credits to be obtained, and that will be delivered within the time of January 11th till April 28th. And the level 2 will require 23 credits to be completed, and which is going to be delivered from the time between May 3rd to August 20th. And the overall program will take about 8 months, and a possible co-op option if someone can get that. So here, overview of the level 1 technical courses. So you can see here that we have actually divided the level 1 courses into technical and non-technical courses. So in this slide, I'm showing you that there are about 6 courses that are more technical related courses. So the first one would be the gathering and managing requirements. It is very important, as I mentioned in the first slide, that a technical system analyst also understand the business domain. So gathering requirement would be very important. So they would get the understanding of how to do that. Researching and documenting the system. So again, as a technical system in that area, in the technical system analysis, an analyst needs to understand the current state of the system. So they need to know how to document the system. So this course will teach that concept. The next one is interface technology. So this course will explore understanding various interactions that occur between technologies. The next course is again another technical course. It is a management information systems technologies. In this course, students will learn about various technologies that support business activities, including technologies that support planning and workflow technologies. The next one is application technologies. Understanding technologies that may already be in use and their associated compatibility is a key skill to technical analysts. So students need to understand the technologies that are available in the application side as well. The next one is operating system one. So the students will explore how to install, configure, and manage the server of operating systems to meet the business needs. Now, next, the students will be also taking the non-technical courses in the same term. And again, in modern world, in these days, in industries, in addition to the technical skills, it is very important that the student understand how to communicate effectively. And that's why we have this course called Essential Skills for Management Professionals. This course applies the principles of professional communication in the Canadian industry. Next, career planning is very important because everyone wants to be successful in their career. So this course will give the foundation to students to the importance of personal career management. And the next one is, as I mentioned, that this program has a co-op option. So the cooperative education employment, that course will be covered. And this workshop will provide an overview of the cooperative education consultants and students' roles and responsibilities, as well as the cooperative education policies. After the level 1 courses are completed, the students will move to the level 2 courses. Now, in level 2, there are 6 courses again. The first course is Agile Practices, Tools, and Methodologies. This course will cover mainly on the Agile project management practices. And again, in today's world, Agile methodology is becoming very popular, and the students who are in the technical and system analysis needs to be familiar with that. The next one is the operating system 2, which is going to build upon what we have learned in the level 1 course. The second one, the next one is the databases and SQL one. So this will give a foundation to the students on the databases and architecture of the database system design. The next one is an important one, which is a capstone project. This will allow students to process with a real world focus on designing new or developing and or enhancing existing systems. So they will understand that process. The next one is business intelligence and analytics course. So in these days, there are huge amount of data in the business. Until that can be having some meaningful information, or the business cannot make any decision until they can put it in a form that is meaningful to the user. So this business intelligence and analytics course will allow data modeling, database management system, predictive analytics, and dashboards, and will be presented as tools for transforming and delivering business intelligence. The next course is databases and SQL2, which will be built upon the foundation that we are doing in the INFO 6113. And in this course, it will be explaining about the database management systems. Finally, once I'm sure you will have some questions afterwards, feel free to email me shalder@fanshawe.ca if you have any particular questions. All right, and thank you everyone. And now it can be passed to Mike Clarkson, our program coordinator for SST program.
Thank you, Susmita. Mike, just make you the presenter right away. There you go. Now you should be able to share your screen.
Okay, I think we're good. Are we able to see my screen all right?
Yes, we are able to see your screen.
so I've got too much information showing up. You probably see my pictures over top of the slides. Am I correct?
We have not
Ah,
moved
there
to
we
the
go.
next slide yet.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome everybody. I'm glad you could show up for this, and hope I can answer your questions at the end. In the interim, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what we're looking at here in terms of software and information systems testing. The point of our program is to provide good software testers for the fascinating world of quality assurance. Companies more and more are realizing that buggy software or software that doesn't work properly is not very productive and is not in great demand. So what they're looking for is someone that can come in and help search out and find the problems with the software so that when they actually put it on the market, they know that the software is of high quality and will serve the people that the software is actually directed to. So as time has moved on, there's a huge demand for employees who can systematically inspect and analyze software in hopes of getting rid of any problems before the software makes it to the marketplace. The sooner you find the bugs and the issues with the software, the less expensive the software becomes in terms of producing it. And of course, the less expensive it is for the companies that end up purchasing it. So when you end up with a software and information systems testing certificate, there are all kinds of opportunities for you. There's jobs as quality assurance analysts. There are quality assurance team leaders, so you can get some management positions. There are many positions as IT analysts, system analysts, and so on. You can grow in your career to become a quality assurance manager, even a quality assurance developer, a quality assurance specialist, and the list of possibilities goes on and on. So as it is with the TSS program, we start our next semester in January of 2021. I do believe that it's the 11th of January that we actually start. Because of the COVID situation worldwide, it's very difficult to have classes in the classroom, so we're going to be fully online. If we do eventually get back into the classroom, the location of our program is at 130 Dundas Street, exactly the same location that Susmita had talked about in regards to our physical location in London, Ontario. So for software and systems testing, it is a postgraduate certification program. It's a one-year program, or 8 months particularly, plus the 4 months for co-op if you choose to take that. We have the same concept, 2 levels, semester 1, semester 2. And again, in semester 1, we go from January the 11th to the end of April. And then in level 2, we go from the beginning of May till pretty much the end of August. You need total of 44 credits over the 8-month period. Just so you know that what you're getting yourself into first semester, what we have found is that a lot of students that come from India come with a computer science degree. Some of them have engineering degrees. Some have some other degree in IT. What is the commonality amongst all of those is that many of them will not have very much practice as a programmer. So we actually teach you programming from ground up, from the very beginning or the foundation level to an intermediate level. We'll be teaching you how to create software, how to debug software. We're going to teach you how to write code using a procedural approach first, then migrating to an object-oriented program approach. When you're done, you're not going to be a perfect 100% programmer, but you'll have a very good understanding of programming, which helps you in the process of testing code and testing for bugs in software, because you'll have a greater understanding. We also have a course called Test Methodologies, and that's all the different approaches to testing, from basically manual testing. They talk a little bit about automated testing, the different kinds of methodologies you use when you test: black box, white box, gray box, unit testing, and so on and so forth. When you are done test methodologies, you have a pretty good idea of the testing methodologies that are used in the industry, and you're almost at a position or a point where you could actually write the ISTQB foundation level testing to be certified as an ISTQB tester. It's not the end all, but it's an important thing to put on your resume. So that's something you might strive for in your first semester, learning how to do test methodologies. There's also a course in end user experience testing. This is the experience that an end user would have with the software. So you take that approach to testing. We teach you how to put yourself in the mindset of somebody that's purchasing your software, what they're going to experience, how they see your software. Is it doing what they expect it to do, and so on? Is it something that they can use easily? Is it something that is easily picked up, and so on? We also have applied project management. This focuses on the theory and practical application of project management skills, basically how to get a project off the ground and running. We also have systems design and analysis, very similar to applied project management. We're applying software solutions to the key business tasks that need to be done, and you have to understand how the company operates in order to be able to put together the design of a particular piece of software. And even if you're not software testing, you are a tester, you do need to know what it is that the company does, and it helps you figure out the ways to test it. We also have a communications course that is a must for first semester students. It's basically just, how to do presentations, how to do research, document writing, strategies for meeting and management teams, all the stuff that we do in Canada that might differ from what the approach you might have in another country. Co-op is a 6-week, 1 hour per week session that prepares you for interviews, putting together resumes, anything that you need to do in order to go out and apply for one of the co-op positions. Those co-op positions are there's not enough for every student, but we also recognize that not every student wants to do co-op. When you do a co-op, we don't just guarantee you a job. You would have to apply for that job, and you would have to fight for that job just like you would in the real world. You would be competing against other students and other students in other programs. So even though there are job opportunities, it's up to you at the end of the day to sell it. So this program, or this course, Co-op 1020, helps prepare you for that interview process. We also have academic integrity. We have a program called ACAD, which focuses on what resources are available to you at the college, skills that you may need in terms of studying, how you deal with time management. Academic integrity, again, is a main focus. Make sure that you learn this stuff and that you're not getting through and trying to get a certificate by cheating. So we have a big focus on that, and what constitutes academic integrity, we'll be talking about that. In the second semester, you get into some really intense programs or courses such as automated test tools. You'll learn the different kinds of automation tools that are available to you, how to use them, and how to actually implement automation when it comes to testing. There is a capstone project similar to the TSS program where it's a culmination of all your skills that you've learned in the first semester and some that you're still learning in the second semester, where you start from ground up. You start with a project in its initial stages, and you work your way to the end so that when you're done, you have basically said, yes, this particular project or this particular piece of software is ready to go. It's been tested. We've done all the processes in between to make sure that it's a good product that we put out. We also have non-functional testing, providing students with an understanding of the best practices to support non-functional. For those of you that don't know what it is, I will use a printer as an example. You could have code that drives the printer to work, but what happens if the printer has no power? What happens if the internet's down? It's a Wi-Fi connection. What happens if you're out of paper? What happens if you have no ink? Those are the non-functional aspects of software, things that you have to look at that are impacted by your software. There's also a course on security testing. In today's day and age, security is a big problem. So we actually focus on that a little bit, how we can test our software to make sure that it's quite secure. And then the last one, and this one builds on what you learned in the coding part of the first semester, basically how you test software in the stages of development. So the different practical skills for testing. So a lot of hands-on and lab work in that, so that you guys get an understanding of how to develop software and how to test it in the process of developing. So that's pretty much an overview of what the Software and Information System Testing Program is all about. I have an email address there if you need to get more information. Obviously, you can get information by getting on the fanshawe.c.ca site and looking over the postgraduate courses, and more information can be obtained there. So I'll leave it there, and I know we're going to open up the segment now to some questions, so we're prepared to do that for you guys.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you so much, Sushmita, for providing such great, insightful information on your programs at Fanshawe. Now let's start with question and answer session. We've got a first question here. Now, they've not mentioned the program, but they've asked, will the program, I'm guessing it is for technical systems analysis, or both of you can answer, will the programs be a blended format? Because the program curriculum includes lab and theory as stated in the college website. So it's more about the format. And Mike, I think you can stop sharing your screen because you're...
Let's see if I can figure out how to do that.
Okay, I can start with the answer. Of course, this is going to be, so it is going to be delivered fully online. However, we will have both a theoretical component and practical components. So yes, there will be, the students need to do exercises. We usually have in-class exercises. So that means the students is connected through online, and the professors will be there like a regular class, but they are not going to the lab as such. However, because it's a technical system analysis or SST, let's say automated testing, etc., they can do the exercises online, while with the probably some discussion with the professor as well. And Mike, please add in more information.
Sorry, I was focusing on the stopping my question again.
The question is about as there is a bit of lab part.
Oh, yes.
So as it includes lab and theory both, so would it be blended or online, and why, and how exactly you're planning to?
We're striving, because most of the students that we have are from India, we are trying to keep all our classes into the morning hours of in Canada, so that students in India are getting the classes between 5:30 and 10:30 at night. So for you in India, you are spending basically your evenings going to school with Fanshawe. We're trying to keep as many courses as possible online and synchronous. In other words, they are live, so that you can actually communicate back and forth with me. I can demonstrate, I can answer questions while it's on live. We do, in a lot of the courses, have practical labs or exercises that you can do. Again, I try to keep mine real time. I teach the coding for test, and Susmita up there teaches the automated test tools and non-functional. And I know she has practical components and lab work in her courses as well. So many of the courses do actually have labs. Automated, even test methodologies has some lab work and some real hands-on experience. Some of these courses are very much theory-based, but we try to put as much practical into them as we can. Again, time limitations. You only have 3-4 hours, maybe 5 hours a week per course. So we have to be realistic. We have to be able to describe the concepts, talk about the concepts, and then give you a practical experience at the same time. So we're doing a good split of both practical and theory. And our strive is to get you to understand it, not to memorize it. There's a huge difference between memorizing what you are learning and understanding what it is you're learning. So we strive for the understanding. That's why we do as much practical as possible. Okay.
Yes, and I
Thank
want
you.
to add to Mike's question in answer in here that in addition to that's why we do the at first we do the lecture, so where we also do some demos of the programming and etc. And then we have the in-class exercises to test the concept. As Mike said, no memorizing is preferred here. We want them to understand the concept.
Thank you. So, guys, we have reached the time, but I hope that we can stretch a bit here for 5 to 10 minutes as
Oh,
we've got a
I'm
few
I'm
questions.
ready to go. Let's keep going. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. So there's another question for software testing actually. Are there software testing job opportunities in London?
There are. We have a lot of companies that we work with. We have several programs in the IT, and London is actually full of IT opportunities. There are a lot of programming and software developers in London. There are gamers. There are like game development companies. There are banks, and they all need software. So yes, a lot of opportunities for quality assurance people, and a lot of people that are, full-blown software developers, all they want to do is develop the software. They don't want to test it. They all think that their software is bulletproof. In other words, it's all perfect. We know from experience that's not true. And we know that there are a lot of companies in London that do need that extra body or extra 2 or 3 people in a quality assurance department to make sure that the software is in fact useful and it works. So yes, lots of jobs we've had, not just in London. We have people that hire our students from Kitchener. We've had somebody in Ottawa hire a student for the Nuclear Regulatory Agency. So these guys are looking at, nuclear power plants and testing software for those guys. So that that's an important job. So yes, lots of opportunities. Not everybody that comes into the software and information systems testing program is going to get a job. A lot of it has to do with you as a student. You have to sell yourself. I mean, you can have all the skills in the world, but if you can't sell yourself, you're not going to get the job. So there you go.
Thank you. That was a great answer. Sushmita, there's a question for you. We have a program called business analysis, right? And now we have a program called technical systems analysis. So what is the difference between, how exactly this program is different as compared to business analysis?
That's a great question. So yes, it is true that even at Fanshawe, we have another program called business analysis. The technical system analysis, in that one, actually, we are trying to merge between business and technology domain. However, it is also more technical focused as well, because we have databases, we have operating systems, we have application technologies, management information system technologies, interface technologies, etc. So we have both here in business side and technology side, technology focus.
Right. Thank you so much for the answer.
You're welcome.
Mike, I've got a question for you here. Apart from the curriculum, what are the other essential certifications related to the software testing that can boost our career?
Obviously, soft skills, communication skills. One of the reasons we have the communications course is to get people comfortable with communicating in a business environment. We all watch movies where people go in, apply for jobs, and they're overly casual. They're not dressed appropriately and stuff. So soft skills are a very important part. But if you're going to come into a software testing program, first off, you have to have a degree. I would suspect that most people are going to have some kind of a degree in IT, but it behooves you as a student to come into Fanshawe as a software testing student, that you do know how to do some of the basic things on a computer. Turn it on, zip a file, unzip a file, locate files on your computer. Those are really important aspects about programming and about software testing. You need to know some of this stuff before you get here, because if you don't, it makes it that much harder to graduate with a decent mark. And believe me, if you are one of the students that gets a 60 to 70% average overall, you're competing against people with A's and A pluses. Now, as an employer, what do you want? Do you want the guy that's got a 65 grade point, like a a 3.1 grade point average, or you want the guy with the 4.1, right? So you have to look at that from that point of view. So coming here, you really need to have some basic skills, especially in the field of IT. And it really does mean that you need to work on those things if you are going to apply before you come here. Please do your best to get comfortable with whatever your degree is in. You should know it, right? It's pretty scary when you have somebody with a computer science degree that comes to Fanshawe and that says, I can't find my file on my computer. That's just really bizarre, and it happens. So all I can say is just make sure you know what you're doing when you come here. Okay.
Right. Thank you. Now, this is a very important question, and we get asked this question a lot. And so this is for both of you. Any specific requirements or softwares for the laptop? Because students would be starting the program remotely for this January intake. So any specific softwares or any specific requirement you suggest that your respective programs should have, or the students should have in their laptop for your respective programs?
Well, I'll answer it first, and then Susmita can chime in for the TSS. For software testing, I mean, obviously you got to have Office on your computer, so you need that. All the other software that you need will either provide it for you or you give you a link to it. For example, Eclipse is our IDE we use for coding. You get that for free. Notepad++ is something you should have on your computer. Aside from that, when Susmita teaches automated test tools, she'll tell you exactly what software you need. It will not cost you anything. As a student of Fanshawe, you do have access to all the Microsoft products free of charge. It's all included in your tuition. So any software that you need that Microsoft provides, you get that for free. So I wouldn't spend too much time worrying about what software you need. You will be able to get that software as needed as a student. Okay.
Right. Anything for you to add here, Sushmita? Or
Yes, Mike covered it. Only make sure that the laptop is having good configuration, like 16 megabyte of memory, etc. And then once they join here, they need to keep adding the softwares as described in the class. But as Mike said, mostly they will either have, a license from Fanshawe or it will be open source, so they don't have to probably purchase as such any software.
right. Thank you. Next question, Sushmita, is for you. As Professor Mike said that programming concepts are taught from basics for software testing course, how about the technical systems analysis program? Will the program start from the basics of different programming languages?
So in the first year, again, that's a good question. So in level 1, I think what will happen is mainly, let's say if you have database design, like database, they will know how to go and, start using databases, how to install MySQL and how to do probably like some SQL queries, etc. In management information system, it is not a programming course as such, but we will give an overview of what is hardware, what is software, how to use cloud technologies, and what is a enterprise resource planning, etc. like that. So in the level 1, it would be the foundation, and the level 2, it would be a little bit more advanced.
Another question for you, Sushmita. If a student doesn't have a core IT background, do you suggest to go for the IT infrastructure program before getting into the technical systems analysis program?
In this one, I think it would be applied for both me and Mike in SST and TSS. It is very important that the students have IT foundation or IT background. In the first slide that I have said, there can be different ways of getting that background. I would say strongly suggest that students have some sort of foundation in there. Now, Mike, what would you say about there are other certification at Fanshawe too. I would leave it to you to answer that part about taking other programs.
Yep. We're not so ignorant to understand that some of the people that are coming here to Fanshawe are not here for specific courses. So for example, somebody might come in and take software and information systems testing, and then they'll move on to ISM or NSA or one of the other, like the TSS program. We know that some of these students are just coming here for 2 one-year certification programs so that they can get a 3-year work visa. We understand that it's a means to an end. So we know that not everybody that comes here and takes software and information systems testing is going to be a software tester. And we know that they're not going to be in the TSS program for anything other than to get their work visa. Having said that, though, we do still expect you to put the work in. We still expect for you to put an effort into this. There is nothing wrong with learning things that you may or may not use to have that knowledge, because it can come in handy in life in general. So we do encourage people that take software testing or TSS or ISM or something to put their every part of their soul into learning it, because it has value. And it's not just about whether you can get a 3-year work visa. It's about us wanting to maintain a standard that when somebody comes here and takes one of our courses, that they're going to walk out of here with that knowledge, and that knowledge will be useful in getting a career and a job. So it's really important that we look into that and we focus on that. So we don't cut corners or say, well, you're not going to take this, so we're going to take it easy on you. No, you're going to come here and you're going to be held to account, and you're going to have to do the work that everybody else is doing. Okay, so I don't know if that was part of the question, but I think that needs to be said too. So,
Right. I absolutely agree with you. So, do we have time for a couple of more questions? Because I've got more questions lined up.
Sure, that's fine. Go ahead.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So,
No
this
problem.
one I'm going to Mike. So, there's a student who is having a degree in electrical engineering, but has got 4 years of experience in IT. Would the student be eligible for a software testing program?
sure they would. They would, and if they've got the electric engineering background, that certainly helps them. If they don't have a lot of programming skills, that's one of the reasons why we have our coding for test and test for development, is to build on IT skills. I mean, obviously, if he's electronic engineer or electrical engineer, he must know something to get that degree. But we count on the fact that they are degree holders. That means they know how to do research, they know how to study, and we do expect that from them. So yes, they certainly can come and become a software testing student and become a software tester at the end of the day. But we also have assumptions that we make, that if you've got a degree in something, that means you must be able to work and you must be self-directed. And we do rely on students to do a lot of self-directed learning. We will point them in the right direction. In a lot of cases, we will provide lectures and knowledge, but there will be some onus on the student to make sure that they do their own effort, if you will, to get through the program.
Right, thank you. I've just got one more thing to add to it, because there are certain regional requirements as well because of the visa. For example, in India, if you have an electrical engineering and if you apply for an IT program, 90% of the chances your visa would get refused. So that is also one of the factors that comes into the play when the reason why we do not accept the applications if by chance if it comes from a different background. So I just wanted to share that with the student. Next question, and that would be directed to Sushmita here. Sushmita, a student is asking, would it be okay to combine business analysis program with technical systems analysis? And if so, then which is better program that should be taken first?
I think it can be combined. I don't see any issues with that. And I think as Mike already covered that, sometimes we pair programs like SST and TSS, like technical system specialist and software system and sorry, SST and TSS, both of them can be taken together. The same way, I don't see any issues with that, like business, or one can be done after the other one. That would give the student probably 2 years of, status of staying here. And I have seen that when students take 2 programs, I don't see any issues coming with that. Now, one thing that I want to clarify here is I don't know if there is any requirement with taking programs in parallel. Mike, if you can add to that.
Oh, you can't take 2 programs at the same time. You can only do 1 program, and then when you're completed that program, you can do another program. Again, part of that depends on availability of the program, if there's any room in that program for you, and if you're going to do a co-op, that has to be factored in. Sometimes where students run into problems is they say, I want to do a co-op. So they plan to do a co-op. They can't find a co-op job, so they sit on their heels, if you will, for 4 months waiting for the next program to start, because by the time they realize they haven't been able to find a co-op, it's too late to get into a particular program. So try to sort of plan your future ahead before you come to Canada, or before you actually register for a program, so that you know whether or not you're going to do the co-op or not do the co-op. And with COVID-19, it's complicated things somewhat when it comes to co-ops. It's actually, we've eased up a little bit on requirements for co-op, and sometimes you can do a little research paper in place of your co-op. But again, pre-planning goes a long way in helping you decide what you're going to do in the 2, if you decide to do 2 programs. But no, you cannot do them at exactly the same time. There's not enough time in the week to do that.
Thank you, Mike. And one more, I think there was another part of the question is which one is better to take first. I think it would based on the student's preference. If they're taking it sequential, as Mike confirmed that we cannot do it in parallel, then I think it depends on the preference. Of course, I am right now in TSS. I would say that is a good option, obviously. And also business system analyst is also offered at Fanshawe. So I don't have any particular preference. Both are good programs. It depends on where your expertise are, or where you're coming from, or where you want to go in the future.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mike and Sushmita. We have now reached the end of our session. Thank you so much for giving us extra 17 minutes here. And thank you to all the students who have submitted the questions today. We hope that we were able to answer all your questions related to the programs, technical systems analysis, and software testing. If you have any more questions, you can connect with the Fanshawe recruitment team, or you can send an email to international@fanshawe.ca, book an appointment with your recruiter in your home country or in the region where you're from. And thank you so much for joining in today. And thank you again, Sushmita and Mike, for taking time today to speak about your amazing programs at Fanshawe.
Happy to help.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.